Imagine checking into a cozy vacation rental, ready for a relaxing getaway in the mountains, only to stumble upon a locked door that hides a secret so horrifying it turns your trip into a fight for survival. Welcome to Shocking Stories, where we uncover the chilling truths lurking behind the places you trust. Today, we're diving into a tale about a man whose Asheville cabin rental revealed a dark past and a host with a deadly secret. Ever think your getaway could become a nightmare? Buckle up, because this story will make you rethink your next booking. Let's dive in. Mark Reynolds was a 40-year-old graphic designer from Charlotte, North Carolina, about 120 miles east of Asheville. Seeking a quiet weekend to recharge, he booked a rustic cabin in the Blue Ridge Mountains through a popular rental app located 10 miles from Asheville's vibrant downtown. The cabin, nestled in a dense forest with a view of rolling peaks, was hosted by a man named Samuel Holt, a local described as private but helpful in reviews. Mark arrived on a crisp October evening, greeted by the scent of pine and a 200-foot path from the gravel driveway to the cabin's front porch. But something about the place felt off from the start. After settling in, Mark explored the cabin, admiring its wood-paneled walls and stone fireplace. In the hallway, 15 feet from the living room, he noticed a door with a heavy padlock, unmarked on the rental's floor plan. Curious, he messaged Samuel, who replied it was a storage closet and off-limits. Mark shrugged it off, but couldn't shake his unease. That night, while unpacking in the bedroom 20 feet away, he heard a faint thud from the locked room, like something falling. He checked the door again, finding scratches around the lock as if someone had tried to break in or out. What would you do if you found a mysterious locked room in a rental? Mark called his friend Emily, a true crime podcaster who lived 5 miles away in Black Mountain. Emily, always up for a mystery, urged him to investigate, but warned him to be careful. Cabins hide secrets, she said. Mark searched online for the cabin's address, finding a 2010 news article about a couple, Sarah and James Carter, who vanished during a stay in Asheville, last seen 2 miles from his rental. Their case was unsolved, with no mention of the cabin. Mark's curiosity spiked. He decided to pick the lock, using a YouTube tutorial and a paperclip. After 10 minutes, the padlock clicked open, revealing a narrow room with a dusty journal on a shelf. The journal, dated 2010, described the Carters' stay, mentioning a creepy host and noises in the basement. The last entry read, "He knows we saw something. We're not safe." Mark's heart pounded. The host was likely Samuel. He confided in Emily, who suggested hiring a private investigator. Mark contacted Laura Pierce, a PI based 8 miles away in Weaverville, who specialized in missing persons. Laura agreed to check Samuel's background, warning Mark to stay alert. That night, Mark noticed a pickup truck idling 100 feet from the cabin, its driver hidden. A text from an unknown number buzzed. "Some doors should stay locked." Ever feel like your vacation is turning into a horror story? Let's see where Mark's discovery leads. You ever feel like you've opened a door you were never meant to touch, and now someone's watching your every move? That's where Mark was, standing in a hidden room with a journal tying his vacation rental to a missing couple, with a host who might be more than just eccentric. A thud in the night and a threatening text had turned his getaway into a dangerous hunt for the truth. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're diving deeper into an Asheville mystery that's only getting scarier. Ready to see what Mark uncovers? Because this story's about to take a terrifying turn. What would you do if your rental hid a dark secret. Mark's first step was to dig into the Carters' disappearance. He and Laura reviewed the journal, noting Sarah's descriptions of Samuel acting strange, watching them from the woods 200 feet from the cabin. Laura pulled the 2010 case file, confirming the Carters were last seen at a diner 3 miles away, with no trace since. Their car was found abandoned 5 miles from the cabin, near Samuel's listed address in Fairview. Mark's stomach churned. Samuel was a suspect, but never charged due to lack of evidence. Laura traced Samuel's property records, finding he owned the cabin since 2005, with no prior arrests but a history of reclusive behavior reported by neighbors. Mark decided to snoop around the cabin, checking the basement 30 feet below the living room. The door was unlocked, revealing a damp, concrete space with a rusted hatch in the floor, padlocked shut. He heard a muffled sound, like a cough from below. His heart raced. Was someone there? He texted Laura, who urged him to leave, but Mark couldn't resist. Using a crowbar from the cabin's shed 50 feet away, he pried the hatch open, finding a ladder leading to a dark sub-basement. Inside was a locked cage, empty, but with fresh food scraps and a blanket. Mark's hands shook. Samuel was keeping someone, or had been. Laura ran Samuel's phone records, finding calls to a burner number linked to a pawn shop in Hendersonville, 20 miles south. Mark drove there, parking 100 feet away, and saw Samuel selling jewelry resembling Sarah Carter's, described in the case file. Mark snapped photos, but Samuel spotted him, his eyes narrowing. Back at the cabin, Mark found the journal missing, his laptop hacked, and a new note on his bed. 10 feet from the door, "You saw too much." Laura confirmed Samuel's burner was active, texting Mark's number. Mark's fear spiked. Samuel knew he was digging. He installed a trail camera 20 feet from the cabin's porch, catching Samuel lurking at 2 a.m. Mark and Laura tailed Samuel to his home, 5 miles away in Fairview, parking 150 feet back. They saw him enter a barn, carrying a duffel bag. Laura hacked the barn's security feed, revealing a hidden room with monitors showing the cabin's interior, including Mark's bedroom. Mark's blood ran cold. Samuel had been watching him. The feed also showed a basement chamber where a gaunt woman sat, chained. Laura called Detective Chris Vargas at Asheville PD, 7 miles away, reporting a possible hostage. Vargas warned Mark to stay put, but he couldn't wait. As he left the cabin, Samuel's truck blocked the driveway, 50 feet away. A text buzzed, "You're not leaving." Ever feel like you're trapped in a rental with no way out? Let's see what happens when Mark fights to survive. You ever feel like you're standing in a place meant for relaxation, but it's a prison hiding unspeakable horrors? That's where Mark was, staring at proof his vacation rental's host was holding people captive, with a journal and a hidden room tying him to a decade-old disappearance, a blocked driveway, and a menacing text. His life hung by a thread. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're about to uncover the final twist in a tale that turned a getaway into a fight for survival. Ready for the shock of a lifetime? This one's going to hit you hard. What would you do if your rental hit a captive? Mark ducked behind the cabin, 20 feet from Samuel's truck, texting Laura and Vargas for help. Vargas's team was 10 minutes out, but Samuel was closing in, flashlight sweeping the porch 30 feet away. Mark slipped into the woods, 100 feet from the cabin, clutching his phone with the trail camera footage of Samuel. Laura confirmed the woman in the basement feed was alive, possibly Sarah Carter, held since 2010. The twist emerged. Samuel wasn't just a recluse. He was a predator, kidnapping couples to replace his lost family, killed in a 2000 car crash 5 miles away. Sarah was his latest wife, kept alive in the basement. Mark circled back to the cabin, aiming for his car 50 feet away, but Samuel spotted him, charging with a hunting knife. "You ruined my home," Samuel growled, slashing the air. Mark dodged, sprinting toward the forest, 200 feet away. As Vargas's team arrived, sirens blaring, Samuel fled into the Blue Ridge Mountains, 300 feet from the cabin, with Mark and Vargas in pursuit. At dawn, after a 2-mile chase through dense pines, they cornered Samuel at a cliff's edge, 500 feet above a ravine. He lunged at Mark, but Vargas tackled him, cuffing him as he ranted about keeping them safe. Police stormed the cabin's basement, 30 feet below, rescuing Sarah Carter, emaciated but alive, and another woman, Jane Ellis, missing since 2012. The sub-basement, 10 feet under the hatch, held evidence of 3 others who didn't survive, including James Carter, buried 1 mile away. Samuel's barn, 5 miles away, contained journals detailing his delusions, with Mark's photo labeled "Intruder." Sarah confirmed Samuel had lured them to the cabin, drugging their food, and kept her alive to play family. Mark's discovery of the locked room had saved her, as Samuel planned to kill her soon. Samuel was charged with multiple counts of kidnapping, murder, and assault, revealing a network of rental properties used for his crimes, spanning 50 miles across North Carolina. Mark returned to Charlotte, 120 miles away, unable to book rentals again. The worst part? Samuel's journals mention an apprentice still free, and Mark checks his locks nightly, fearing a visitor. So, could you stay in a vacation rental after this? This is Shocking Stories, and we're just getting started. Hit that like button if this gave you chills, and subscribe for more heart-pounding tales. Comment, would you explore a strange room? Share this video, because sometimes the coziest getaways hide the darkest secrets.